99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio. This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I am Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Following his meeting with President Dr. Irfan Ali and Vice President Dr. Kaieteur, Hess Corporation's CEO John Hess said he is of the understanding that the PPPC government is desirous of expediting the approval process for the Yellowtail project, the fourth to be developed in the Stubber Block. Hess said this revelation during his participation in the Union Bank of Switzerland Global Energy Virtual Conference 2021. During that engagement on May 26th, the Hess boss was asked to relate his experience in working with the new government. He said he was keen to note that the Ali administration is very pro-business, while adding that he wants oil investments to be accelerated. Dr. Kaieteur said that Hess's understanding of the perspectives exchanged and the government's position on the matter was accurate, while adding that before year-end provides ample time for all issues with the project to be addressed. And moving on. Two neighbors, Wang Chung and 29-year-old Balaram Raghu, were on Tuesday charged for wounding each other with a plate and champagne glass, with one of the defendants telling the court that he thought that the crockery he threw had missed. Both men rent apartments in the same building in Hurstelling in the east bank of Demerara. Chung and Raghu appeared at the Diamond Magistrates Court and were charged with felonious wounding. They both pleaded not guilty and were released on bail. They are expected to reappear in court sometime in June. According to the reports, on May 2nd, Raghu and Chung had an argument which became physical. Chung allegedly dealt Raghu a blow to the left side of his head with a champagne glass, causing him to receive injuries, while Raghu had also allegedly used a wear plate to wound Chung. It is understood that the argument had erupted over loud music. And now let's tell you, acting town clerk of the Georgetown Mayor and City Council, Sherry Jarrick, has made an urgent appeal for the relocation of the offices housed at the badly deteriorating City Hall building as the inner stairs threaten to collapse. During a statutory meeting of the city councillors held on Monday, Jarrick stressed on the urgency of the matter. She noted that it was brought to her attention that the inner staircase within City Hall could collapse at any moment, taking an entire section of the historic building with it. In addition to holding the offices of the town clerk, the more than a century-old building houses the rate collection office and the meeting chambers of the city council. City Hall's restoration has been on the council's agenda for the past 2 years, but the building is still awaiting a much-needed upgrade. Mayor of Georgetown Pandit Ubraj Narain stated that the government would be providing a sum of $30 million to assist with the completion of the building. And now let's tell you, Engine Number One, a relatively small hedge fund, delivered a massive blow to ExxonMobil Corporation, America's powerhouse in the fossil fuel industry, as it was able to get 2 of its 4 nominees elected to the company's board. In the preliminary results released yesterday for the annual shareholders meeting, elected from Engine Number One's nominees were Gregory Goff and Kaisa Hitala. It is understood that Goff has a long track record of success in the energy industry. He was named one of the best performing CEOs in the world by Harvard Business Review in 2018. With regard to Ms. Hitala, Engine Number One was keen to note that she is an experienced leader in strategic information in the energy sector who began her career in oil and gas exploration and crude oil trading. And moving on. For 4 decades, fossil fuel producers have been dodging accountability for the role they played in the climate crisis. But yesterday marked a turning point in history as a court in the Netherlands ordered by Royal Dutch Shell, the world's 3rd largest oil giant, to reduce its carbon emissions by 45% compared to 2019 levels. It has up to 2030 to reduce emissions of its subsidiaries, suppliers, and customers through group policy. The district court in The Hague did not say how the Anglo-Dutch energy giant should achieve the ordered cutback, saying that it has complete freedom in how it meets its reduction obligation and in shaping the Shell Group's corporate policy. But what the court made pellucid is that the oil king has a duty to reduce emissions and that its current reduction plans were not just enough. Meanwhile, an armed bandit who was dressed in police uniform on Tuesday robbed and attacked a 53-year-old woman at her Land of Canaan, East Bank Demerara residence. The woman, whose name was not released by police, reported that sometime around 15:55, while conversing with a relative via phone, the male perpetrator invaded her premises. According to police, the woman claimed that the man in uniform and a gun in his hand approached her and demanded that she hand over all her belongings. She further explained that he then tried to force her into her house, but she resisted. This, however, resulted in a brief scuffle, during which she received a lash to her head with his handgun. Before making good his escape, she reported that the man relieved her of a Samsung Galaxy S9 cell phone. The police have since apprehended 3 male suspects, and they continue their investigation. And now let's tell you, Bartica Region 7 is among several other areas which experienced severe flooding on Independence Day as a result of heavy rainfall. The Civil Defense Commission has since warned residents living on the coastline to be on the lookout for above normal high tides, which may result in overtopping of rivers and sea defenses. Most of Guyana woke up yesterday to cloudy skies, which turned into heavy rainfall that continued throughout the day. For residents in Bartica, it was the same, or so it seemed, but when the water began entering their homes, it took them by surprise. And to wrap things up this evening, let's tell you as the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security seeks to strengthen collaboration with the Ghana Police Force on the issue of child abuse, a cross-training exercise was conducted recently with approximately 60 officers who were brought up to speed on the subject. The initiative, held at the Officers Training Center in Kingston, was conducted by Director of Children's Services and Head of Child Care and Protection Agency, Anne Green, along with the Ministry's legal counsel, Talisha Williams. This latest exercise, the ministry related in a release, is in keeping with Minister Vindhya Prasad's vision for effective child care in Guyana and her plans to roll out several projects to aid in the protection of children. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Coming up at exactly 19 hours 20 is Guyana's Oil and Dew with Keanu Wilberg.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
It is now 19 hours 8 in Guyana. Coming up next, a short presentation from the publisher of the Kaieteur News, Mr. Glenn Lal, on the oil and gas sector in Guyana.
Fools multiply when wise people are silent.